Let's see. What do I want to talk about next? Let me talk about Space Station 76.
Oh, yes. I really want to hear more about this.
Yeah. So this is a movie that I scheduled my whole
Yes, you did.
festival around.
This was a big event.
This was basically like Andy, like, I really want to see that movie. Oh wait, it conflicts with Space Station 76. Andy could have probably seen 4 more movies.
Yeah, totally. Well, the problem was it was scheduled at such an odd time, and it was at the theater that's the furthest out.
away.
So it was at the Topher, and the Topher is like a 20-minute ride on the shuttle, assuming the shuttle's on time. And that's not a guarantee.
Big assumption.
But it started at like 4:30, and it was just at a really awkward time. So I had to sort of make a gut call to be like, all right, if I'm going to see this movie, then I gotta see this. I gotta like either see this movie and then skip a section, or I'm gonna see this movie and then see everything else at that theater that night. Because
you weren't able to see anything at 7 o'clock because of that.
I had to skip like a big chunk of films. So that didn't work out. So, but I really wanted to see this film. The log line is very simple. It's like it's the future in 1976 or something. That was all it said about the film. It has a pretty good cast. It's got Patrick Wilson. It's got Matt Bomer. It's got Callie Rocha who you'd recognize from Buffy and some other shows like that. It's got Liv Tyler in it. It's got
Is Jerry O'Connell in this movie?
Yes, Jerry O'Connell's in this movie. So I like this movie a lot. However, it was nothing like what I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be like sort of a goofy comedy, like maybe like a Wet Hot American Summer type thing, or just something that was just totally off the wall. It's not. It's actually kind of serious. It's almost like a serious commentary on parenting in the 70s.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what I would have thought at all. Seeing
So
press release.
so Liv Tyler is a spaceship pilot who's coming to this station as the new lieutenant. Patrick Wilson is the captain, and it's basically like gender roles in the 70s. You know, she's like, it's set up like she's the powerful career woman coming into the man's world, and she has to prove herself. Like that's how it's set up, which was really interesting because I did not expect that from a movie made in 2013 about the future,
Right.
ostensibly. So, but the whole space station, all the characters are basically right out of like a sitcom from the 70s.
Okay.
So there's, the couple that they have a new baby, but they're only interested in themselves and like what products they can buy and how they can make their own lives better. They care nothing for their child. There's another couple where the wife, again, extraordinarily selfish, like major league selfish, does not care about her own daughter, just wants her as sort of like a toy that she can play with and then just send her away when she's not interested. And Matt Bomer plays the husband of this second wife, and he's unhappy and she's unhappy, but they're staying together. She's punishing him by staying with him essentially. But he's sort of like the ship mechanic, and he and Liv Tyler sort of make a connection, and they fall in love. Liv Tyler starts to sort of be more of a mother to this little girl on the space station. And the mother of this girl is not at all happy about that and sort of plots and schemes. Like there's a scene where Liv Tyler sort of gets her a gift, and she gets a gift of a cryogenically frozen puppy, which is – it's the future.
Of course.
It's like a Shih Tzu puppy in a block of ice. It's hilarious. But so the mother's like, oh, that's not a good idea. Like I'll send this back, but you can't give my daughter this. And then she shows the daughter this frozen puppy and says, I'm sorry, your friend.
Oh, gosh.
The lieutenant said you can't have a puppy on board. I'm sorry, we have to send it back. I really wanted to give it to you. And it's trying to turn her against. I mean, it's also really funny. Patrick Wilson provides a lot of the comedy in this film. He plays the captain, and he's sort of an idiot. He doesn't really know how to be a captain of a spaceship, but he's the captain. And
he plays that. Patrick Wilson, I think, plays that role, whether it be a superhero in Watchmen or whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
He's a little bit of a dullard,
Right.
but at the same time, he's got this kind of backstory where it comes out early in the film that he was having a relationship with another man on board, and this man has now flown away. Of course, this is the 70s, so he can't actually be gay. He has to pretend that he's not, and he doesn't love a man. but he is deeply in love with this man, and the man left because because the other guy was totally comfortable with being in a relationship with a man, and Patrick Wilson's character was not comfortable. And the what's the name of the guy, the lead on Glee? What's his name? He plays the teacher.
The guy who plays Matthew Morrison.
Matthew Morrison. He plays the gay lover, which is hilarious. And he's only in one scene as like a hologram, but it's just really good. The film is actually pretty deep. It reminds me of like sort of a family drama where, you know, everyone's secrets kind of come out at the end and everyone has to deal with it. And then, you know, there's like a metaphor of like a disaster impending and all that stuff. But it's kind of a pitch perfect send up of the 70s, except set in the future, except not set in the future.
Right.
But it's really complex and really great. So I really like that a lot. The other thing that was great about this, the whole cast was there. So Matt Bomer was there, Patrick Wilson was there, the director was there, Jack Plotnick, who is better known as an actor, actually. He was in Rubber. He's been in a few other things that you would recognize him from. So about 5 minutes in to this film, the projector died. The credits, during the opening credit sequence. And the lights were out and everyone's just kind of sitting there like, oh gosh, this sucks, this is too bad. Director Jack Plotnick stands up and is like, all right, so I asked them to do this because I really had I wanted to make sure you guys had a chance to ask questions. And so he's like pretending that all along this was his plan. He was really funny. And he just sort of stood he did a Q&A session for like 10 minutes while they were getting the projectors going again. It was really funny and a really nice moment. And also at this screening, 2 rows in front of me was Glenn Howerton from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Sure.
Which he was not in the film, but he was hanging out.
That's
so
very cool.
That was cool.
How would you, at the end of the day, classify this? Which shines through more, the family drama or the comedy? Is the comedy straightforward enough that you'd label it as a comedy, or is it sort of inherent in the drama?
I would say it's a dark comedy.
Okay.
Definitely a dark comedy because it's I definitely could see somebody watching this movie and not getting the jokes at all. Like, I think if you grew up in the 70s, you might be like, oh, this is just too real. This is just
Didn't
too much.
I see this on TV, the Saturday Night Special? Right.
Exactly.
Sure. Okay.
So, but I really liked it. I don't know if it was worth scheduling my entire conference, my entire festival around, but it was definitely worth seeing, and I'm glad I got to look at it.
Yeah, at least it wasn't awful, and you regretted your decision.
Like, I hate South by Southwest.
I immediately got on a plane and left.
Right.
A Place for Film is recorded at WFIU Studios in Bloomington, Indiana.